King's March?
I think we should all rise and sing "God Save the King." I think that would be a good way to start out our little talk today. Hopefully, the drones will hear us and report back to the orange creature in the French Bordello, which used to be the Oval Office. It is a French Bordello.
So ugly.
Although I think the French, having mostly good taste, would have better taste than to decorate their Bordello in so much fake gold. Anyway, um, anyway, so yes, the No King's March. Um, I want to go. I'm not sure if I'll be able to because of domestic affairs, but I've read several times now Speaker Johnson's comments about those people who are going, about the whole idea, and those people who are going to attend the rallies. Uh, as I was just
Actually calling it the Hate America rally.
Yeah, as I was just telling Karen here, the fact that the Speaker of the House, over and over now, says that a certain portion of the population ought not to be allowed their freedom of speech guaranteed by the First Amendment because, and he doesn't say this, of course, but because it is so anti-Trumpian, to me is terrifying, absolutely terrifying. This man is, God, can Louisiana do nothing but have creatures like this? It's so embarrassing to have him from Louisiana, but what the hell, uh, it is terrifying, and I haven't heard. I've heard people, Democrats and senators, whatever, speak out against it, but where is the vehemence? I don't, I don't hear a lot of vehemence out there, and just to be upset about it, big effing deal. I can get upset about the fact that right now my little toe on my left foot hurts very bad. But where's the vehemence from the people that count about this? I read this thing that Obama has spoken out against Trump's authoritarian urges, but this one person said how wonderful it would be if George Bush came out and spoke against it. And I really believe, I really think that in his heart, W is not a Trumpian. I really don't think he is.
Oh, he's for sure not. He said a couple of things, but like not really, more in passing. He's just largely disappeared from public life.
Yeah, yeah, and that's okay maybe, but uh, he was president for God's sake twice, and I don't think that I'd say to you, W, you don't have this luxury of sitting in wherever you live. I forget where in Texas you live, and cutting down the brush and being a good old boy again, which I know you're not.
Doing little paintings.
Do little paintings.
Which are very good, by the way. I have a book of his paintings.
Really?
Called The Immigrants. It was gifted to me on the day that I became an American.
The Immigrants?
Yeah.
By a Republican.
Wow. By W.
By W.
It's all little paintings that he's done of immigrants with interesting stories, and he's written just a little one-page synopsis of this person's story. It's a beautiful book.
Never heard that. Having heard that, W. GD, get off your ass. Get off your ass.
Your country needs your words right now.
Yes. Yeah, really. I mean, the country's going to hell. And we only have a few ex-presidents. This article I read, and I don't know if this is true, but this article, the person who wrote it said he believed that if you were to speak out strongly against this, that that it would impact or influence a lot of people. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't, I don't know. But my God, it couldn't hurt. Things are just to the point where I won't name names right now, but I might later. Regarding other leaders in the Democratic Party, except for Bernie and AOC, I don't care for her very much, but good for her right now. Good for her and Bernie.
I like her.
I know. And I probably will too one day, I don't know. But anyway.
He already does, he just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, she thinks I'm a clown or whatever. I haven't been in the closet in a long time.
No, well, no, it's not. It's a democracy closet.
Anyway,
yeah, they're not stepping up. They're not speaking. And you know what? Even Bill Clinton is not out there speaking enough.
He's
and
not.
You know, the Obamas are not out there speaking enough. These people need to be out there beating a goddamn drum.
And I wonder why. Why they're not.
Well, I think that they're not doing it because the tradition has been to have decorum, that the former presidents do not make public comments about the current president. That, you know, the notion that, you know, you were allowed to be the president without your predecessors getting on the blower and saying, he's this, he's that, he's whatever. But, like, my God, we're not talking about a normal circumstance where somebody is just, you know, bringing forward a bill or voting for a bill or signing a bill into law that we think is not good for the country. We're not talking about, you know, the vehemence with which Republicans fought Obamacare, for instance. You know, we're not talking about this. We're talking about democracy slipping away from us. We're talking about the Voting Rights Act slipping away from us. We're talking about falling right back into Reconstruction America, Jim Crow laws, pre-civil rights movement. Bullshit. This is a big, diverse country, and we need to embrace everybody. And I gotta tell you something, for those of you who are out there wanking on about how, oh, Democrats, this, Democrats, that, it's like, you know one thing, we may disagree enormously with Republicans, but we do not deny you your existence. We don't tell you you can't vote, and we don't tell you you can't have an opinion. And we most certainly do not tell you you're not American. Okay? So this bullshit about it's the Hate America March, fuck off, okay? Pardon me, oops, I made a swear. But seriously, Mike Johnson, you're a goof. You're a goof and an embarrassment to this state, which is, by the way, full of embarrassments. But you're at the top of the
Mike Johnson, wow, you are. I'm from Louisiana, and it is truly an embarrassment that you're from this state. You have a lot of company, unfortunately, but God, you are an embarrassment. Why is it, picking up on something you said, why do Republicans have to be so damn mean? There's nothing wrong with having strongly held convictions. I do. Why do you have to be so mean? I mean, you know, Johnson could have come out with a statement against the No Kings rally without saying anything that he's already said, and still have, you know, still convey his feelings against it. But to call those of us who are against it haters of America.
And there are millions of us.
Yes.
Just wait and see on Saturday. Across this country, there are going to be tens of millions of people out marching peacefully to just say, hey, this is America. We have a constitution and not a king. Just to try and remind those who work for we the people that, hey, it's not a kingdom. So,
you know, and this comes down, you know, straight down from the top, from the Orange Preacher and the French Bordello. He can't speak about Democrats or anyone who opposes him without attaching some sort of hate to it. And the same it can be said of good old Kristi Noem and just about everyone in the administration. I mean, where does the hate come from? Where does the meanness come from?
well, you see, now this is back for me. this is back to our discussion that we were having off camera, which is going to be a discussion we'll have continued on at some point in time, which is that, if I look at what is the cornerstone of conservatism, which is the Republican Party, and the cornerstone of the Democratic Party and liberalism, is that conservatives are all about exclusivity. And the liberals are all about inclusivity. And that, by its very nature, I think foments hate. We don't want those people involved. It's just us. And we define what us is, and you are not part of us. And Democrats are saying, no, that's not okay. You can't just deny all of these people. We want, a bigger tent, a longer table, whatever it is, whatever the phrases of the day are. But the reality is that one party wants to make sure that everybody's more okay, and one party wants to deny the existence of certain people. And that's, I think, where the hate comes from.
I plead the fifth on that right now. If the fifth still exists, I don't know. Has it been repealed or not? I don't know.
For some, it will be.
For some, it will be, right.
Because all men are created equal, but some are more equal than others. Actually really seeing this in real time right now. Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew? Back in grade school, we were reading Animal Farm.
Oh my God.
And seeing it come to fruition.
So.
And they certainly picked the correct animals to be,
Yes, they did.
They did.
So I wonder, I haven't read anything about this, but especially in Washington itself, but throughout the country, but especially in Washington, is Christie going to have her goons out?
I would absolutely imagine so.
I would too. I would assume that she's going to. I mean, this is, if it turns out, if it's going to be as big as we hope it is and they fear it is, yeah, and will the goons be visible? Will they wear masks? Will they carry guns? I don't know. These are just questions to myself for myself. But
yeah, and it's these are the things that cause one to have pause about, well, should I go and attend this thing? I don't know. Is it safe to do this? I don't really understand. Are we okay? Are we all going to be, gathered up and thrown in paddy wagons and spend the night in OPP?
And of course, I can see what, let's say in Washington or whatever city, let's say there's just a vast throng of people, just tens and tens of thousands. And that is broadcast on all the TVs and whatever, networks and whatever. And I can see Trump saying, "Oh, well, that's fake."
It's all AI generated.
They can manipulate anything they want. It's like the fact that they denied the fact that there were oceans of people out there for my inauguration. Everybody knew it. I can see that happening. And I can see tens of millions of Trumpians believing that, absolutely, with no difficulty whatsoever. Of course, the media manipulated. Of course, I mean, there were some people out, but there weren't that many. I can see that happening.
So that's the most important thing. If you're going to go to the rally tomorrow, I'll see you there, and I'll be carrying a great big American flag. Yes, I will be, because you don't tell me I chose to be an American. You don't tell me I hate America by going out and saying, hey, don't forget the Constitution. I mean, you may not have read it, but I can assure you that I have. I carry a little small version of it around with me from back in, I didn't really have to study very much to become a citizen. The test is not very hard. But in any case, that's beside the point. The bottom line is that they don't own the flag. They don't own patriotism. They don't own, all of those platitudes. We, the people, do. And we need to remind them they work for us. And if they're going to start making us a smaller and smaller and smaller group, they might have another thing coming to them. So we need to be out there and remind them,
Bring your phones.
hey, yeah, bring and take lots and lots of pictures and lots of videos and interview people. Go up to somebody who looks friendly. Everybody's going to look friendly. Go up to somebody who you like their, their hairstyle or their earrings or the shoes they're wearing or something that they have written on a T-shirt, and just or how cute they are. And yeah, I mean, go on up, take a little video of yourselves, and make sure that you post this. We need a lot. We talk about, flooding the zone. We need to flood the zone on Saturday of joyful, we're here, we're not going away, you're not going to deny us, and we're going to be as visible as we absolutely can. Because while the Democrats are not in any kind of power right now, it doesn't change the fact that there are a lot of Democrats out here. And we're more than half of the voting population. I mean, not in the last presidential election, but in terms of registered voters, there are far more Democrats than there are Republicans. I don't have the actual numbers on that, but I will look them up here in just a second and to find that. But the bottom line, again, get out there, be in evident, be courageous. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Carry an American flag and carry a sign that says "No Kings" on it. Be out there, wear some yellow, be in evident, take all of your friends with you, and yeah, just be peaceful. Make sure that you're respectful and you're peaceful, and we're just going to be there and show our numbers. This is a reminder. It's a reminder that we're here. We have the Constitution, and we do not have kings here.
Like I said, I'm not sure I'll be able to go because of domestic affairs, but I'm thinking that if I don't go, I will have something in our apartment outside.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, showing where, so if you can't go, signs are great. They don't have to be, they can be anywhere, in your front yard, wherever. Flags, they don't all have to be on the march.
That's right. Put a big American flag out in front of your place and go to the dollar store and buy a $1 poster board and a $1 magic marker, write "No Kings" on it, and put it in your front window if you can't go to the march.
Yeah.
But the march is going to be really fun. I have loved every one of the anti-Trump marches that I've been to. They've been really joyful affairs, actually. So I don't know what they're talking about. That we're burning the world down and it's hateful and all this other stuff. Oh my God! This from the people who supported literally jackbooted thugs carrying tiki torches, chanting, "Jews will not replace us."
In Charlottesville.
And that's not, I hate America. That's not, I hate.
Yeah.
Come
and
on.
There were good people.
Enough of the
There were good people on both sides.
No, there weren't good people on both sides.
We have an insane person in the French bordello. An insane person, or at least someone crazy enough to fake being insane. Easy.
I wonder if French bordellos really were like that, or if that's the American version of what a French bordello would look like.
That's a very good question. If you have any answers to these, send them in, please. We're willing to take all kinds of help in our.
When you press like and subscribe,
right? Yes.
Leave a comment about. Actually, here's some interesting information about what French bordellos actually look like.
Yeah.
Because it is my assertion that Trump and his apartment in Trump Tower and the way the Oval Office looks like now is actually not how rich people live, but it's what poor people think rich people's lives look like.
Yeah.
All gold everywhere, and
I've never seen anything like that in Architectural Digest. Never have. Never seen a French bordello look in Architectural Digest.
No.
And I like architect. That's a good magazine. That's how the rich live. And look,
I think they
French
call the
Quarter.
style Rococo. Is that correct?
Say again.
I think that they call that style Rococo. Hang on a second. I'm going to Google it.
All
right.
There's Rococo, but let me think. Oh,
Rococo. Rococo was an 18th century artistic and architectural style that originated in Paris, okay, as a reaction against the grandeur of Baroque, characterized by light colors, asymmetrical curves, elaborate ornamentation like shells and floral motifs. It celebrated elegance, leisure, intimate settings, and was featured in paintings, architecture, furniture, and music. Okay, well, cool.
And it wasn't subtle, nothing subtle about it. And if you look at the French Bordello when they show it on TV, and nothing subtle about. And what is this? Why does the, I don't know what to call him. Trump's sitting over here, slouched forward like a fool, and there's always got to be Rubio and who's the vice president? I can't think of his name now.
J.D. Vance.
J.D. And often the Secretary of, I want to say Commerce, I don't know. But anyway, why are they always sitting on the sofa there, watching and nodding like, whatever? So I don't know.
They're the capos.
Say again?
They're the capos.
Capos. Jesus. What a fucked up world. What a fucked up. Yeah, wow. Pardon the French.
Oh, I didn't pardon my French. And we've talked about the French a lot today. By the way, we love you, the French.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love you, Macron. I like you. I like you too. I have something to pick with you, but that's in private for a personal thing.
What, Macron?
Yeah, but that's private. That's a private thing. Well, not for you, but that's something better. But anyway, it's private for you guys. So, do we know when the...
Yes, so the New Orleans protest is going to happen on Saturday between 3:30 and 5:30 on the Lafitte Greenway between Prieur and North Galvez, I think. Yes, between Prieur and North Galvez. 3:30 to 5:30. I don't know if there are speakers. I don't know what is actually planned for the protest other than just show up, make sure that you're there, make sure you wear yellow. I think that they have chosen yellow as the color of the unified protest. I'm not sure. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, but we will be there. I will be there. Drag all my friends with me as well. Yeah. Even my husband will be there. He will wade into the sea of estrogen that will be me and my girlfriends.
I should really be there with Kelly to give him some testosteronic support. But that's such a word, I don't know.
Well, it is today.
We've made it a word.
It is a word. That's right.
Yeah.
And don't forget, most importantly, the First Amendment gives you the right to protest. And this is spinning. Oh my God, I'm just so verklempt. I'm having a hard time getting the words out. This whole thing about the Pentagon and this latest nonsensical, which, by the way, you can tell what is a propaganda network by who signed on for this. OANN, the only ones who signed on. To basically say, oh, we're going to give up journalism because they don't know what journalism is to start out with because they don't do it. We will just be your propaganda arm like we always have been, But even Fox walked out and said, no, sorry, here's our credentials back. And we will continue to do our job because, what you're asking us to do is not journalism, and that's not what we do. That's what you have a press secretary for.
When in the future, if there is a future that includes the truth as it exists in 2025, in the future when historians or whoever write about this time, and I'm having a fun time in my head trying to figure out how they're going to talk about Hegseth. That man is, words fail. That man is, I don't know what to say.
Well, this is the reality show president, so he wants to pull media people out to be part of his cabinet. It's immaterial to him that they are completely unqualified and don't have a clue what they're doing, and they know nothing about the departments that they're presiding over. These are immaterial, inconsequential details for the White House because everything is being directed by Trump and the Federalist Society. So
Yeah.
that's it.
I read something today, I forget where, talking about the meeting with Hegseth and the 800 or so generals and admirals called in from all over the world. Someone quoted the chief of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, as before the program began. He told them all that they were not to stand up, applaud, or anything like that. They were to regard this as something like the State of the Union speech in which the Supreme Court sits in the front near the podium where the president is speaking, and you do not see them standing and applauding or anything like that. They are to sit there like robots and just simply sit there and listen. That is what the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff told all these people. This is how you to react when Trump starts speaking, and whenever no applause, whatever. I found that very interesting, very interesting.
But that is the baseline behavior for the military, right? The military is absolutely not meant to be partisan.
Apolitical, yes.
It's supposed to be apolitical, and I mean that is the nature of a democracy. So, the military subscribes to whatever the orders are from the commander-in-chief, regardless of who they are. So they need to be apolitical, period. They're there, they serve the Constitution. They are supposed to be like Congress, who's also supposed to swear and does swear an oath to the Constitution,
right,
not to the commander-in-chief.
Right.
They don't swear an oath to a party. They don't swear an oath to a person or to an ideology. They swear an oath to an ideology, which is the ideology of America, which is written in the Constitution. And they serve the people. They serve their constituents, and that's who they're supposed to be serving.
And they certainly don't swear allegiance to a creature such as Hegseth. That man.
I feel kind of almost sorry for him, really. He's so over his head.
And anyone and everyone who has the right to say that says so. I'm not seeing any quotes or anything from anyone who has the right to speak on that subject and say he's the man for the job. My cat Finbar could do as good a job as that. I have no doubt whatsoever.
It would certainly do less harm.
Less harm, yeah. Anyway, I finally got Finbar into this. This is cool.
Did?
Yes.
I know.
Finbar's this wonderful 6-year-old ginger cat, about between 9 and 10 pounds. He's a great guy. He got an ASPCA. He's just a really super guy. And he's making much better minister of war than that creature would ever was.
I learned something this morning that I didn't know, which is that that the White House cannot change the name of that department.
Right.
So they're using it as a nickname.
Yeah.
So,
It,
oh my God,
I wanted.
the enormous waste of money.
I was almost tempted to say, I'd like to meet some of you people who voted for Trump, but I know intimately some of those people who voted for Trump. So, well, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Because if I say anything, I'll say too much, and the wrong person might watch this, and we ain't gonna be friends no more. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and it's just so sad, but this country is divided, and something needs to happen to make that different. And one of the reasons why we started this YouTube channel and the Making the Point philosophical group is just to give people the opportunity to talk about difficult things and to understand that we're in difficult circumstances and that our opinions are important, that thinking about things matters, and that having critical thinking skills to solve problems really, really matters right now. It's enormously important. So we need everybody to get out there and do a little bit of that.
And also to not downplay the situation, not to um, not just try to make it sound palatable to people. It shouldn't be palatable. None of this is palatable. Should be palatable to anyone. So off with the gloves. Off with the gloves. Off with the timidness. Off with the sometimes with the what am I trying to say? With the can't think of the word. With the propriety of what I want to say.
Let her rip.
I really think it's gone beyond all that. That started off, I think, more or less saying, where's the vociferous anger and remarks from the Democratic leaders and others. So it's come full circle, I guess, for me at least. Don't downplay it. Don't downplay it. Downplaying it will work right into the hands of the creature in the French bordello.
Here's another thing I want to say. I want to ask. Where the hell's all the protest songs? All the protest music? Where is that? Guys, where is the protest music? Is the musical community not concerned with the
Is
state
there not
of
a
this
Joan
country?
Baez out there?
Right. Come on. Is there not the Seekers or or a Bob Dylan or a, Neil Young or a, Leonard Cohen? Is there not somebody out there who's, ready to write some good music about this time? Come on. Get with it, guys. I don't have any artistic flair myself, so
yeah. I'm gonna get very what's the word? Politically incorrect here, I think, if I dare.
Politically courageous.
Yeah, all you folks out there who are, you're not just big stars. You're it. You're the reason that 30 million pubescent and prepubescent girls get up in the morning so that they can hear you and see you, watch you shape what you got. And you're making 60, 40, 80 million, I don't know. Don't you have an extra few minutes to get out there and shake it for the country, shake it for democracy? You may not make any money, but Jesus, this is the country that's made you who you are. That's giving you those mansions. That's giving you the private planes. That's giving you these concerts that change the world. It's the second coming. Can't you get out there and do something? Hopefully you believe it. I'd say even if you don't believe it, damn it. But especially if you believe it. you know, good God, get out there and say something that these 20 million pre and post-pubescent creatures, they listen to you. You could tell them all to walk off the cliff and they would. Well, tell them to get out and go to the King's March. Okay, enough of that.
Well, most importantly, tell them to get out and vote. Register to vote.
Lord, yes. Lord, yes.
Well, some of them are doing this. Okay, so some of the big stars have been very benevolent in terms of their political views. They've been generous with their money. They've been generous with their time. They've been generous in all kinds of ways. And you're right. There are some that have not, and probably have a. I mean, they don't really have a duty to do it. But I mean, if you have a big audience, I think it's important to use that for benevolent reasons too. Like to rise above the stardom of
Yes.
music or rock and roll or whatever. I mean, make a statement. Come on.
Yeah, say
You have a big podium. Use it for something.
It's not just your money, it's your voice. When, and I want to say names, but I won't. But when you know who you are, you don't even have to say something. You show up on the screen, and my God, the pulsating begins. Well, say something about this situation. If you believe it, say something about it. These people are going to listen to you, and some of them are going to vote. Some of them are going to vote, and some of them might get out to the march because you say it's a good idea. You have more influence than the clergy, the media. You have enormous influence, and you know you do. You know you do. You don't go around the world for a year, exciting every heart and crotch, in the world for a year or 2 years without knowing that you have influence. Use it to this, and then go back to the crotches. That's fine, but you use it for something other than just yourself.
Most importantly, I think that's a lesson for all of us. Whether we have influence or we don't have influence, or we think that we do or we don't. It's just important to speak out. We are entering into what seems to me very intensely obvious that there's a realm of fear that is being developed in communities in and around cities, typically democratic cities, about don't step out of line. Don't speak your mind. Don't say something against what we're doing because that's going to be deemed as being un-American because it's anti-government. It's not anti-government, it's anti-this government. It's like the Israelis who protested by the tens of thousands daily against the Netanyahu government. Not against Israel, not against the Jewish people, but against the Netanyahu government. You're allowed to do that. These are supposed to be duly elected people, and if they're not doing what the duly elected wanted them to do, then you should be speaking out about it.
Something you just said 3 or 4 sentences ago made me think of the fact that I've read a number of times online and wherever that immigrants, many of whom are here, quote, illegally, they're afraid to go to the supermarket. They're afraid to go out and buy food for their families because they know that ICE agents and other creatures know that that's a great place to go to snatch up people. It makes me sad. It makes me sad as hell to think that people who walk perhaps, hundreds and hundreds of miles, maybe even lost loved ones on the march here to get to a better life, that they are afraid to go and buy food for their families because of our government. Maybe they came to the wrong place. Maybe they came to the wrong place.
You know, it's an interesting point. And, you know, as an immigrant myself, I'm just going to say one thing, which is that I have never understood this anti-immigrant sentiment in America as anything other than racism. Because the truth is that if you are coming from a faraway place that is war torn, that is poverty stricken, that is problematic in all kinds of ways, and you risk life and limb, all of your money, and all of whatever security that you ever had in your homeland to walk days across a desert in order for the possibility, for the opportunity for a better life in America. Isn't that who Americans want to be Americans? I mean, they want to be here so badly. They are willing to sacrifice enormously in order to be here. What makes them less of a good American or a good candidate to be American than some, and I'm just gonna, this is a completely a characterization, but like a toothless fourth generation welfare recipient, white supremacist from West Virginia in a trailer park in the mountains with a Confederate flag in their lot and KKK robes in the closet. Why does that person get to be an American and that they are lauded as an American more so than the person who worked really, really hard to be an American? I gotta tell you, you know what? It wasn't very easy for me to get to this country legally, despite the fact that well, as a Canadian, I had been an import exporter. I had an unblemished, decades long relationship with the federal government as a visa holder. And still, and I'm not meaning this to say the way that's going to come out, but I'm precisely who you're not trying to keep out, okay? White, English speaking. I got several letters after my name. I have some means. I have a businesses here. And I'm not a problem. I have a clean record and, you know, a few traffic tickets, and that's about it, right? But still, I mean, my application for a green card was held up so long, I had to do my medical twice because it lapsed. The system is broken for sure, but I mean, I can't imagine how hard it would be, how Sisyphusian it would be to try and get here if you did not speak the language, if you had no means, if you didn't have representation, and you're trying to get here legally. Holy shit. I mean, it's impossible. It is an insurmountable problem. I totally understand why people will roll the dice and walk across or swim across, try and swim across the Rio Grande. Sorry, I know that's an unpopular vision. It's an unpopular opinion. It's an unpopular way of looking at this, but I get it. You know, human beings do extraordinary things when they are faced with extraordinary difficulties. They do. That's not me. I didn't have to do any of that. I am a privileged white lady. Not everybody is. So, and you know what also pisses me off? It pisses me off when I hear people say to me, well, you know, you did it the right way. You did it the legal way. Doesn't it really, really make you upset when these people try and do it like the illegal way? And they are so confused when I say, no, no, it doesn't upset me at all. You know, Jesus Christ. Again, I understand that the system is broken. It needs to be fixed because you want the people who want to be here. And if they just had a reasonable means by which they could, vet people quickly, reasonable amount of time, not the stupid amount of time that people they wait decades in some cases. I mean, your whole life is like passed away in that space and time while you're waiting and gathering cobwebs for some bureaucrat in a freaking immigration office in Pocatello, Idaho, to freaking read your application. Stupid. Anyway, that's my little rant. I have a lot of things to say about immigration. A lot. This is a huge country. It's an enormous country. You could take in, you could double the population here without really worrying about it, without really having a big problem. It's a big, big country. Just imagine how much money there would be coming in taxes alone.
Oh, but the tariffs are going to make up for that.
Tariffs are stupid. Tariffs have always been stupid. In the history of America, we have understood. If you just look at, I mean, oh my God, people need to read some books.
Yeah, when the creature in the French bordello, and I can't say it any other way, I'm sorry,
Poor French.
right there. I know, forgive
But
me.
as you were saying, off with her this, off with her that, all I could think of was like, well, we're talking French. Like, we're not suggesting that that's a good thing to do.
Yeah. Now I'd like
Although, the rich would be delicious.
Say again?
The rich would be delicious. I mean, the whole, idea of eating the rich.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Because if we run out of other things, and
Yeah.
tariffs keep us from being able to get all the goods that we get from China.
Yeah.
I mean, they got great health care. They're typically all healthy. They're all spa'd, They're without disease. They're without, any of that.
Right.
Yeah. Also, I like dark meat.
I do. I can't stand white men. Chicken is so dry and boring. But going back, when the creature first brought out the tariffs, universally, I think, maybe, no, I won't say universally, there were some sycophants who held to it. Most economists pointed out there's almost nothing good about tariffs, almost nothing good about it. And to base a hope of raising some revenue on it, Mother of God, that is just beyond stupid, beyond stupid. Case in point, because of the tariffs on China, China is now not buying any soybeans from us. They're not going to buy any from us. And as a result of that, within the last couple of weeks, I don't remember the number. I'm going to say I saw 10 billion, if I'm correct, could be wrong, that the government is going to help bail out soybean farmers to the extent of $10 billion or whatever. Sweet Jesus. The only reason they're having to do that is because of the tariffs. Before that, the soybean farmers, the Chinese were buying every soybean that we would sell to them. Everyone. Now they're not buying any. Stupid jerks. It just.
But tariff money maybe is paying for the $40 billion that apparently the White House is now sending to Argentina.
Wow, I know.
To prop up their currency,
yes.
Which is going to fail no matter what.
Yeah.
Seems like a reasonable expenditure of money.
While the
Talk about waste, fraud, and abuse.
While the government is
Christ.
shut down here, and people now, it's reached the point, the date where millions and millions are either not getting the paycheck or getting a reduced paycheck. We're sending 40 billion to Argentina.
That's billion with a B.
In some cosmos or universe, whatever, maybe that makes sense.
And they want to roll back any of the healthcare subsidies. It's just why it is, and again, I'm getting verklempt here. why it is that anybody in the United States does not want universal health care. I don't get it. And I know I'm an old lady, and every morning there's something new that I don't get. But truthfully, this I don't get ever. I don't get it. Like coming from a place that has universal health care, I can tell you this would be a game changer for this country. I mean, the idea that healthcare is not for profit, for starters, okay, because it really shouldn't be. It's not an open market kind of, service. It's not like getting your car fixed or, having your roof done or buying a meal in a restaurant. I mean, it's not like that. It's healthcare. You don't have the expertise and you can't really get it. Um, Paying for it in your taxes so that it's invisible and everybody pays into it to some equality, and that you don't have to think about it. If you're unwell, you go and see a doctor about it. So therefore, you don't say, oh, well, I've got this, chest congestion, or I've had this pain in my arm, or I have whatever, but I can't afford to go take the day off and go and pay the copay and all this other stuff. So this is naturally going to result in a less healthy population. It just is. It just is. And, this is arithmetic. We're not talking fucking calculus here. This is like 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's not 1 plus 1 equals the square root of fucking the circumference of the fucking moon divided by, the quality of acidity in Trump's fucking tanner. I mean, the whole point is that this is simple stuff. These are things that a rising tide raises all boats. It just does. This is a human, historically well-defined principle that if the lowest among us do better, we all do better. And this is where I get into my pissiness about conservatives, is that they don't want that. It's like, well, I want that for me, and I want that for him, and I want that for that guy over there, but I don't want it for her, that, fat black woman with the long fingernails and the braids. I don't want her to have this because I don't think she deserves it. She's a welfare queen, and we can thank fucking Ronald Reagan for that shit. That guy. But yeah, so it's this whole sense of conservatives don't have a sense of the social contract. For them, there is no social contract. It is literally every man for himself, and that does not include women. It does not. They're the most misogynistic party, period. And I'm going to hold fast on that because I can give you example after example after example of why that is true. But they don't care about women. They don't care about minorities. They care about white men. And not just white men, but white men of means. There.
Okay, I'm going to make it even more interesting by saying that
I can't wait for what comes next.
I know I am a conservative, and I agree with everything she said. I'm a conservative, and I am absolutely, completely in favor of national health insurance. Completely. So, not all conservatives, even though she doesn't believe I'm one. And
He's not a conservative. Oh my God.
Why would I keep saying I am if I'm not?
Because you have a label that you've adopted that you have not been, that you're not ready to peel off yet, despite the fact that it doesn't fit you anymore. It's like that set of underwear that you had when you were a kid, and it was your absolute favorite. And it felt so, so good, and it was really comfortable, and it was a pretty color, and it was really, really nice, and And as you were outgrowing it, you were just denying that you were outgrowing it. It's like, no, 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 it's going to stretch out, it's going to be fine, it's going to be fine. And at some point in time, it becomes so uncomfortable because it no longer fits you. That's your conservative label. Is the best pair of underwear that you ever
I
had
can't
when
wait.
you were kids.
I can't wait to find out how she knew that my favorite pair of underwear which had Bullwinkle and Moose on it,
Oh,
how she knows about that. We have not talked about
we
this.
have not. That's
Either with or without alcohol, we have not talked about this. So I can't wait to find out how she knows about this.
I didn't know about that, but
Now she does.
now I do.
Now she.
But I do think that the analogy probably fits.
The underwear may not fit, but the analogy fits. Okay. This is truly going into a topic for another time, not to get out of it, but I'll simply say that okay.
Come out to the No Kings March.
Yeah, we're gonna get back there. This will be my last rant. She's had her rants. I mean, this is not. I don't feel like a rant right now. But I'll simply say, I am a conservative. I love being a conservative. Don't want to be a liberal, and yet I'm beginning maybe to see that. And well, I'll say also, I've always felt, a lot of people put down labels. I've never done that. I've always felt that labels, all things being equal, serve the purpose. Still do to a large extent, but maybe not as much as I always thought. There's room for me in that. There's wiggle room in there. I I will not sit here in her wonderful, wonderful house, which I'm still welcome in, and hear conservatives all thrown to the wolves. Because, as I said last time, I'm a conservative. I'm not a right winger. Labels are good, but they're very tricky, and they can be very misleading. Very misleading. I completely agree with that. Again, topic for another whole other affair. But last word is this conservative is not a right winger. He is in favor of anything and everything that helps the human condition to progress. I'm not going to, okay, second to last thing I'm going to say. On TV, you'll hear the expression a million times, the American people. When I hear someone say, I'm doing this for the American people, I want to say, hide the wife and the children and the silver. If I hear someone talk about the fact that they're serving the American people, I shut them off immediately. Say whatever you want, say it some other way. The American people is, it is
All of us.
not only all of us, no, it's not only all of us, it's all of us, but it is also a remark which hides absolute
True intentions.
true intentions. Yes, thank you. Um, I just will not use that expression. I am not out to help the American people. I'm out to help all of us. But that expression, the American people, that is a uh, a costume that especially Republicans and conservatives put on, and the things that they do with that costume are not for the American people, against the American people. Uh, anyway, that's enough for me today.
Cool. It's interesting you speak of costumes, and I want to get back to, as we say here, comma, we'll get right back to that one point. But yeah, you're talking about costumes. I'm really loving what they're doing in Portland.
Oh yeah, the frogs and all,
The frogs
yeah.
and all the blow up costumes. Nothing is, more apropos, I think, than just being ridiculous and,
Satire, yeah,
satire.
it's
Satire.
wonderful, yes,
My
yes.
husband and I march in Crudeville, which, for those of you who are locals, you understand that is like the pinnacle of satire in the Mardi Gras season. And I love the theater of the absurd that those protesters are embracing in Portland. And I hope
I
to see
agree.
some of that here in New Orleans because nobody gets theater of the absurd and grotesquerie like New Orleanians. We really, really get that. Anyway, just back to the butt comma. You said something that I had not heard you ever say before, which is a curiosity to me,
Oh, dear.
and we will. I want to explore it in a future video.
Okay.
Which is that I'm a conservative, but I'm not a right winger. I don't understand what the difference between those things are, so perhaps you can educate me.
Boy, I look forward to that. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
To be continued.
To be continued.
Listen, everybody, be gentle with yourselves. Do get out and go to the protest if you can. If you can't get out, make a statement of some form and understand that this is our country being all of us, regardless of who you voted for. And just understand that, we the people is not an exclusive kind of concept. Although, when it was written, it was very much an exclusive concept.
Right.
So, appealing to our better angels here. Anyway, Monday, the 20th, coming right up, is going to be our next Making the Point at 7:30. We're going to have it here at Casa Pelican. And our topic is all human life equal? I think that would be very
The makings of a really great evening.
I think it's going to be
really
a lot of fun.
great evening. Yes.
Please come out. If you'd like to bring a nosh of some sort to share with everybody, that's great. If you'd like to bring something, it's a little BYOB. Although we will have red and white wine here, and there's always water. Anyway, be well, and we hope to see you again. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please, whatever comments you'd like to offer us, we will be more than happy to look at. À la prochaine.
Tout à l'heure.